Hello and welcome to UC Today. I'm Senior Editor Tom Wright and I'm delighted to be joined by Isabelle from Kurmi. Thanks for joining us today.
Hello, thank you very much for inviting me today.
Yeah, it's great to have you here, and we're going to be talking about Kurmi's kind of credentials in the financial sector. But just to kick us off, could you talk through, kind of give us an overview of Kurmi and the portfolio and how you help companies?
Yes, sure. So, Kurmi Software automates the management of unified communication and contact center systems, and the Kurmi suite simplifies the increasing complexity IT teams face due to digital transformation, hybrid work, the move to the cloud. And Kurmi helps to tackle this complexity by automating the management of enterprise communication. It's an automation solution and it's used by IT administrators. So we could say it's IT for IT. And how Kurmi help the business. So the second part of your question, Kurmi simply help decrease the time which is spent on MACDs by administrators. That's move, add, change, delete. So that's the onboarding and the offboarding of users and the daily changes. And reducing the time also means decreasing the cost of UC users management. And we saw that in some cases, this cost reduction can lead to a 80% decrease in management costs, which is very significant.
Yeah, that is very significant, and I'm sure it's very difficult for organisations in the financial sector as well to deal with this. So, looking a bit more specifically at the financial space,
Mm-hmm.
could you talk through kind of the profile and the type of financial institutions that you're working with at Kurmi?
Okay, so actually we can, Kurmi Unified Provisioning Solution can address any type of financial institution from private banks doing asset management to very large banks and even assurance and reinsurance companies of any type, of any size. I would say we can address from thousands of users up to 100,000 users. We have customers of that size.
Okay, and let's look a little bit more at the Kurmi portfolio. What is it about what you offer that is particularly well suited to the financial industry?
Mm-hmm. Kurmi is particularly well suited for this sector as we can address very large companies and our solution is very scalable. We have several large banks as customers, and it's obvious that for some large organizations, it makes a lot of sense to automate the recurring tasks that takes times, are tedious, and keep their administrator very busy, their experts very busy. And this type of organization, they also need a high level, a high quality level in the management of their UC services. They can't afford human errors, which usually lead to a lot of dissatisfaction from the end users and lead to management escalation sometimes. So bankers, insurance agents, they really need to have their phone system, video conference system well provisioned and configured and have all the relevant service up and running whenever they need it. They need them, be they in the office or at home. So they can't lose a call. So it helps them manage all. So Kurmi helps to manage all this even in a hybrid work mode. And some other points I could mention in terms of what we bring to a financial institution is that this is a particular sector where they need to record their customer calls for compliance purposes. And Kurmi can also integrate with some recording solution and therefore broaden the management of UC system to recording system as well on top of simple, I would say, uh, um, unified communication platforms. And the last 2 points I could mention, sorry, my answer is quite long, but Kurmi solution can integrate with IT service management solution. So using it's northbound API. So if a bank is using, for example, ServiceNow as its ticketing solution, for example, Kurmi can be integrated to it. A ticket can be created to assign a device to its user, as an example, and this will be directly implemented by Kurmi without human intervention. So that's very interesting to bring a lot of automation to financial institution. And they can also use Kurmi to manage their agents in contact centers, like UCCX from Cisco, for example. And because they can create agent, delete agents, and assign them some skills.
Okay, so you've talked about the kind of companies you help and how you help them. Can you give us some examples of the institutions that you're working with?
Okay, so if some ideas, so without giving names, but I would have three examples. Like I'm thinking of this large UK bank, um, which has to manage had to manage a lot of different techno vendors in their environment, and Kurmi is key for them in this respect because Kurmi is natively multi-vendor. So they have a Cisco, Microsoft environment. They use call recording. They use ServiceNow, and so their ecosystem is broad and quite complex, and they're happy to have a management tool such as Kurmi that can integrate with all this and manage this complexity for them. So that's the first example. Um, Another example of a reassurance company we are working with in Europe. They had the need to move from Skype for Business to Teams, and they use Kurmi for this. So Kurmi can help to migrate from a techno vendor to another one, or from on-prem to cloud in this case, and then can also be used as the daily management of the new technology. So here it's a different techno, different scenario, but it was very useful for them to have Kurmi. And the last example I would give, the third example, is a large bank in North America which had to manage user and Cisco. And then their management to the decision to have Microsoft Teams implemented. So they had to adapt, and they're now also using Kurmi for Teams as well. So Kurmi can be seen in this case as a sustainable investment, as whatever technology they're using and will be using in the future. They know that Kurmi provisioning solution will accompany their strategic move. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point. I've just got one more question for you to follow up on something from your last answer, actually, and that's about multi-vendor environments. How
Mm-hmm.
important is it to support businesses that are using more than one platform, particularly if they've got thousands and thousands of users?
Yeah, sure. So that's uh, this type of heterogeneous environments can be the result of management decision, as I explained before, to move to a new techno vendor, but it can also be the result of mergers and acquisition, and that's also frequent in the financial sector. So in this case, in the case of the need for managing multiple communication platform, Kurmi can really be used as a single pane of glass to manage different communication platforms such as Cisco, Microsoft, Avaya. And we try to have an intuitive and ergonomic interface so that administrators don't have to be experts in each vendor's technology to use our solution. And sometimes, if they're experts in one technology and another player comes in, they can be scared about the management of it. So it's not the case when they already use Kurmi because they know that they don't need to be an expert in the new technology. It's reassuring for them. They aren't scared, and they know that they'll be able to handle this new communication platform. And I would say a last advantage of having a solution such as Kurmi is that it brings a lot of savings to have only one solution managing several communication platforms. As I said earlier, it also brings a high level of quality of service in the management of the digital workplace.
Okay, Isabel, it's been great talking to you, and thanks for talking us through Kurmi in the financial sector.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, and thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and a share on social media, and we'll see you next time.